So, last week I was actually tasked with running Dagorhir in New York City. While this is something I was used to back in Vermont, I hadn't actually done it with the people in New York, so it was a little intimidating in some ways. You really have to be able to read a group and see what people are interested in, be open to suggestion, understand what people are good at or what they don't really want to do, in order to make practice successful and fun for everyone. Regardless, it actually ended up going pretty well, so I was happy about that. I'm going to show you some of the footage from practice, and then at the end, talk a little bit about what goes into running a successful practice, just in case you and a couple friends want to get more people together and actually have minor practices of your own. Now, the first couple gameplay sequences I'm going to show you are from a bridge battle. If you're not familiar with a bridge battle, this is how it works. In this scenario, we have laid down rope to signify the bridge. If any part of your body touches the ground outside of the rope, you have effectively fallen off the bridge and are dead. This is one of the few instances where you can call death on other people. You can say, hey, hey, bridge. They'll look down, realize they've walked off, and realize they're dead. The game mode is basically kick the can, if you're not familiar with that. Two teams on either side of a bridge, they go and try to knock over the front cone on the opponent's side, while respawning at the back cone of their side.
Lay on! Oh, talking more now means talking less during the game. I'm dead. No, let me back your leg. Let me get your leg. Let me get your leg. Yeah, the good part is they don't necessarily need to get it. There we go, that's game. Off the bridge! You're good, you're good, you're good. You're both just barely on it. Oh, no. Oh! Yeah, I just realized I put the eye pro and the face pro on the same team. All the eye and face protection is all on the left. Off the bridge. Nice. Whoa! Oh! Good guy! Play of
Yeah, I know I took a little bit of creative liberty there, but that spear rush was really great, and Thane was pretty proud of himself, as most of us were. That kind of rush is something that most spears usually dream about instead of being able to do on the field, at least from what I've seen personally. As the sun set, we did more games like Zombie and Warlord, more chaotic games. Those are fun to play in, but not as much fun to watch. Plus, the sun was setting, it was getting more in the lenses. The footage does not look great. To end the practice, we actually did something called dagger wrestling. Now, if you remember my Dagorhir video, I talk about mild grappling and wrestling a little bit. I don't really talk about it too much, but this is a good example of what is kind of allowed. It's rare that you'll find yourself in these situations where you're getting grappled, where you're, trying to wrestle out of something, but it happens every once in a while, so I figured it would be good to get people in the habit of it, just in case. A lot of these people are going to the event for Hearthlight, and Hearthlight does allow similar to basically the same grappling as Dagorhir. I figured it'd be good for them to try it out, see what it was like, just in case they got rushed by someone and had to grapple in a situation they might not feel as comfortable in. Now, to wrap it up, I'm going to talk about a couple things that I like to keep in mind when I run practice. Maybe they'll help you too. Number one for me is safety. So make sure you have a first aid kit on the field, make sure you maybe have someone who's medically inclined, make sure people aren't throwing overhead shots, make sure people who get hit in the head go off and take a second, and most importantly, no matter what, you can have an entire day without a headshot, you can have an entire day without any scrapes or cuts and bruises, but the one thing you will never have is an entire day without getting dehydrated. Everyone must hydrate often. The second thing is make sure people are having fun. Be open to suggestions about what game modes to play, whether they want chaotic games, ordered games, maybe they don't like bridge battles and they want to do more zombie stuff, maybe Warlord is just too confusing and they'd rather just do mutual annihilation, 2 teams, 1 life, simple. Always be open to what they're suggesting, and have somewhat of a plan on your own. Game modes that you like to play that you think other people will enjoy too. On that note, also think about other game modes you may want to come up with. A lot of the time in Vermont, while we were playing in practice, the people running practice would sometimes bring in new game modes for us to playtest. Those game modes would then be used in bigger events where people came from all across Northeast to Vermont. Last thing to think about is your proximity to other people. So here in New York City, we have a lot of people in the East Meadow where we practice. It's always good to keep your head on a swivel, make sure that your group's not straying too close to some picnickers or people who are having a party on the side, or maybe some little kids playing. Always be on the lookout for people that are walking right through. It doesn't really seem conducive to walk through an entire group of people that are swinging things at each other, but a lot of people for some odd reason feel that this is absolutely okay. I'm not going to say that they're necessarily in the wrong, it's just not something I would do personally. So watch out for those kind of people. The last thing you need is some kind of bad PR incident, maybe someone running into someone else, or, hitting a tree, going over a rock or a pothole, or running into, something expensive like a speaker set. I've never seen anything like this happen, but my mind definitely can think of a lot of situations where Dagorhir, in a closed environment, could be a little tricky and sometimes messy. So those are some things to think about when running practice. I hope they help, and I hope to see you guys out on the field.